altering the shape that's happening. Like your mind is feeling something and it is making it happen. Like it is negative, so it is feeling something negative, it will make negative happen. And that's why, of course, in that kind of a mind, what I just spoke can never occur. You can keep going into cellular, and then one day you will be dealing with cell. You are going cellular. Then you'll be molecular, right?
Let me come.
Yeah.
I understand that. Guruji, I was also saying the same. So, how to process it in a biological way, we need this pattern, right?
Which pattern?
The pattern Guruji is telling me about.
The feedback loop. Yeah, so we need that pattern. How would you have recognized that there will be such a pattern which is giving feedback? How would you have recognized that? Through your theory? You would have taken I don't know how many years. You are not even scratching the surface of what I know truly and totally and deeply. You're not even scratching the surface. See why I'm telling you this man is full of excuses. What he wants to know, he wants to imagine by reinventing the wheel for years and years to get to the conclusion that somebody already knows. In this, he is making that obvious mistake of thinking that the things that he is going to go travel through are not already covered by giants of the past. They have all covered everything. All these people are just on the scratch, the surface, because the real depth is the depth of Shunya. Till the time that has not been internalized, it's impossible to see what I am able to see. That's why I was so clearly saying that it is not about the cellular. It is not even about the atomic. It is about a true concept about the opposites. It has nothing to do with science, it has nothing to do with any education. It is truly divine. It is not dependent on anything except just the purity, only purity and cleanliness in the mind. That cleanliness of the mind is all that it takes to understand the concepts of opposite. If there is something, there must be the opposite too. What would that be, which is the opposite of something? And then it takes time to understand that that opposite is the mind. From here something is getting created through the subtle, but it has to not take shape. It's like if the stone is dropped in the water, it will create ripple, correct? So if you've had a bad thought, it has to reach, depends on what kind of intensity you carry. If you're not an intense, powerful person, then your thought won't carry that propulsion to become anything, in reality to have any impact. But if you are, then your thought wave will be much more impactful. It is like that, the mind is creating. It is to understand this that will give final solace to people. Otherwise, they'll just keep bullshitting their thesis and theory and philosophy and science and all of this noise in repeat mode. So why it does not attract me? He thinks he has a point, but he doesn't know that how far ahead I am of that point. To tell him that my soul knows something and that's why it's not excited about that. The desire caused you to come at a place from where you could internalize that value, what that value is. And then the legs trembling, voice not coming out, not having... what is the problem? How is he not able to take the name of the lady who works on our product? What must be the problem that he's not able to take that name? It's just not clarity. Just think about it sometime.
I agree with you.
I can see it in every part of you, So
I'm not arguing anything about that with Guruji.
Sorry?
Everything Guruji is saying about me is true and I accept that clearly. And I want to work on that also. But I am not able to handle Guruji.
Yeah, actually...
That's the main problem.
I understand. Look, there is a solution. Look, there is a solution. You want to know a solution?
You can... I also have a doubt.
the main problem is we are also afraid of you.
Yeah, sure.
Because
It's a
you
good
are,
sign.
I understand
It's a
that
good sign.
I understand you are this much of a having this much of a intelligence. So that's the main issues I'm having, and he is also having.
Right.
That's he is like you can easily manipulate us. That's also a thing.
So
And
why are
he's
you guys in fear of that?
Eh?
Why are you guys in fear of that?
I don't know.
No, the
No,
first.
what do you mean by I can easily manipulate you for what? Like what is the fear about that? Tell me.
No, I'm not afraid of that. But
Actually,
first,
we are also liking that. He said like Guruji is like manipulating Chetan, manipulating me.
When did he say that?
That's the main issue here. That he is telling family and every problem like अभी तो मेरे को अभी problem हो रहा है.
I told him right now only, no? I told him, right? I told you, right, that you are the one who's feeding this negativity,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware of all that. I can
The
see.
main thing is like I am also cool with that also, because I never seen anyone who can like manipulate. If my Guruji can manipulate, that's the greatest thing.
Right, and the right word is maybe because you come from the shallow mindset, of fear. Like everyone is out there to harm,
Mm.
That's why you're using the word manipulate, otherwise the word is inspire. But what can we do? The world is so rotten, The world is not in touch with what is being able to inspire the other. That's why they can never come to this layer. That's why they will tell you not to obey.
Actually, this is also why I am like I said that like for Guruji it was theoretical physics or mathematics. For
But
me,
I'm saying not only for me.
biology. I am only understanding it from biology, but
No, you can understand, but I'm saying that all that you're looking to understand has been covered. The
I am,
work,
like only looking it to understand
the
for
only
myself.
thing. No, yeah, sure.
Or else I will be already doing the thesis.
For yourself, yeah, for
and
yourself.
then I stopped all
Correct.
this.
I understand that for yourself. Now, what I'm saying is that's not a bad idea at all. But I'm forgetting the name of this person. His name is. Most people sometimes call him the other Krishnamurti. One is Jiddu Krishnamurti, and the other Krishnamurti, Mahesh Bhatt, the director. He considered that gentleman his guru, and many other, different kind of thinkers considered him as their guru. I remember some video from him came by, and he had that very, I think, sharp words towards people like you, who are like for their satisfaction trying to get to some, telling themselves that if I go find this, then everything will be sorted for me, and they never get sorted. They think that they found what will sort them, while what actually will sort them is got nothing to do with this intellectual journey. It has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with surrender. It has nothing to do with it. I don't think you are alien to that thought. You are aware, correct? You know that. And yet your entire thing is phenomena, everything you're talking about is that intellectual journey. And that's why I'm saying that you can find something in, you can maybe create some company out of finding something in this process. But it is not very exciting because it is already out there. This work on understanding for oneself is in totality called biology. Now one can make any more fancy branches in it, but it is just understanding the same life through bio. But it is through understanding all this that they finally reached somewhere which is called quantum physics. It is really the edge. Everything else that you're talking about is understood, it's clear. One can understand there is something to do with a subjective, biological way of things, where there is some real phenomena where pain can be felt. Ultimately the quest is about that there is real life. And biology is how it is displayed. The what is displayed is already clear. What is happening through the understandings of the quantum world is the real phenomena. That is what is making everything go upside down.
Ji, what is this purity you are referring to?
Sorry?
The purity you are referring to.
Yeah, the purity I'm referring to is like if this whiteboard
Mm.
is always clean,
Mm.
you write something on it, something is written on it, now more was written on it through the day,
Mm.
and when it wanted it just cleared itself. It cleared itself in case of computer would mean that you minimize the screen, right? To have some more clear screen. Or you closed it, right? You closed it. But whenever you want, you can pull it back on the screen. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Mm.
That's how
Yes.
memory is. Is that correct? It is because
Yes.
of memory, right?
Yes.
That's how memory is. That is how our memory is also. I don't know why should it be any different. The memory is all the aura that we carry with us. It is a pattern. It's there. It has made its impact. It has fitted itself into it. If we have a clear screen, we'll be able to pluck it out. That is purity. That purity itself is intelligence. That when it is clear like that, it can pluck things without feeling like they are doing something. It's just happening by itself. कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? बहुत बार मैंने बोला है लेकिन तुम्हारा काबिलियत नहीं है, तुम नहीं समझ पाओगे ये सब मुझे लगता ही नहीं है। इस पॉइंट पे मुझे अभी लग रहा है कि पूरी दुनिया में कोई नहीं समझ सकता मेरे अलावा। There's not one soul on planet Earth that can understand this. They just don't show it in their lifestyle and life choices, because that's how it manifests in real life in the human being who knows. But even what I am just saying right now is not a far-fetched phenomenon. It is not difficult for people to know this. It is still very simple in comparison to the final conclusion that I am saying is not even through the eyes of quantum physics. It is through this clean slate, which when is clean is able to understand itself. Until now, it was able to only understand when it could see something, when it could have some thought. It didn't have the capacity to understand what it is without that opposite thought. When it understands it, then it understands it forever. Then it can never forget it. Then it is seated on that clean slate. Everything is just getting connected into that memory realm of the aura. It's just there. It is a clean slate. If somebody hits a certain rhythm, that chord is struck. You can see that chord. You can see where the vibration happened. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody in the world can say these things. Nobody. You guys don't know what a loss it is for the world that I'm surrounded by such people. I mean, when I'm saying it, I can see it so clearly how it is. And yeah, I can see it so clearly how it is. Must be the reason why I'm able to say it every single time so clearly from any context. The reason for why I'm seeing it is that purity I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah, purity is in everything, even in the voice. It's in everything, man, you know. It's in the muscle, it's just like that. You know. It just aligns everything. Because the misalignment itself is because of our ego. Because we put ourselves in front of the divine wave. The divine wave was as it is, it knew how to be. But we started putting our conditioned mind into it. Like some moment was happening in the room today, but your conditioned mind had created that bias lens. The real color had not changed to some other color. You couldn't notice much because of that. But if you were a blank slate, just observing the now as it is, without having some kind of a smart thought, you see what you call smart is dumb in fact.
Yes.
I know exactly where the anything people are talking about in matters of evolution. I am probably the only one in the world who can say that it cannot be a matter of answering anyone anything so it gives solace to anyone with intelligence that the question would stop and they would finally know would be absolutely impossible to without the shunya. If one can't understand that, which has nothing to do with evolution because it doesn't evolve, it's like we are seeing something but we are not trying to see who's the seer. So we don't know the quality of the seer, but we are trying to imagine what is being seen. And we think we understood the whole picture. If the seer was a bee, then it would be seeing something else. How can you trust what the bee is seeing without knowing it's a bee? Now you know how much is being seen at best. It's the same thing without knowing who is the seer, who is the observer. People are trying to understand observation, thinking that is the path to understanding life. And that's why they're not able to see it clearly, and they think they'll have to go into, the biology way of understanding evolution, or some others will go some other way of understanding evolution. And that's the path that was taken, that we have these very, very, very mature fields of science with none having the kind of respect the quantum physics started getting. Nothing comes close to that respect that that topic achieved in the world of science, because finally everyone understood that wow, this is an unbelievable missing component of everything we have understood so far, that there is something that's an observer, but we don't know what that is. Is that God? That's where people are. People are not clear about why it has the quality to be able to observe. Imagine how cool it would be to know why that which people think is God, the observer, how does it have the quality to observe? I have clarity even about that. Imagine how life would be, how many brilliant visions it can show. That's why I give you punishment, like, because your mental capacity feels like children in school. You deserve to be made into that shape of a cock. So you put some blood in your brain and strengthen yourself, because your capacity of the brain is too small to capture all this. And the unfortunate part is not that your capacity is so small. The unfortunate part is that you don't understand how small your capacity is. So it is so small that you end up misguiding yourself. When you take it upon yourself, you'll only be misguided, because your capacity is so small. You can't see outside the well. How can you? Nobody can. They have to come out of it. You are not able to come out of that very simple understanding that there is nothing new in what you are, the path you are attempting to do it through. Even calling something like it a thesis. The real people, believe me, the real people, like now I actually understand that when I was in my early 20s, whenever there was this, to the people I felt like, wow, this man must be with clarity. I didn't even use the word clarity for my own vocabulary during that time. But looking back only, I can remember a few people who, if I had the capability to understand them, they would have spoken to me more. Maybe they understood I don't have the capacity to understand them yet. But I remember that they hated any word to do with educated minds, like thesis, science. They hated all of that. And today I understand why. I'm so clear that anybody who is looking to go that route is not getting it. That's why so many years I used to think like that, unless, of course, it just came to my personality, let alone the mind, let alone the brain, let alone the voice. It just became in my personality, became that overnight. So I knew it had happened. I knew after that I was unstoppable. Nothing has been able to stop me since then, 14 years. Nothing, not even one employment or one degree or one certification, one kind of a skill. Nothing I went after, none of that. That's the amount of conviction. Never used any word like thesis when I knew more than anybody out there on this topic writing thesis. But I never used the word thesis because I could clearly know that it's not about, it really is about becoming the wave that we are riding on. It's that surrender. It's really that there is nothing else to life. It is about that surrender and then just becoming that wave on which you have surrendered, because then it becomes light. Then we are not like, oh, I'm thinking, but I was dreaming this, I have to make this, I have to do that. A frog will be dreaming like a frog, you know. Even for the next 5 years, if you're talking about this cellular theory of evolution, nobody is going to pay attention to it. I'm guaranteeing you that. Let me please talk about the consciousness physics. We are done with that. What the fuck? You are still living in 90s? It was through this journey that we reached quantum. Because we covered all this. It's just that you have never really done any sincere science. You have never really participated in the deepest realms of science, that you don't know any of this. You think?
Yeah, actually, I have went through. I actually like physics so much.
Yeah.
Like childhood में physics like I love to study physics and like astronomy and all other aspects and string theory. अभी तो मुझे कुछ याद नहीं, but I have.
तो देखो पहले वो था, अभी सेल्यूलर शुरू हो गया. यही होगा कालिदास. We can see pattern ourselves. पहले कुछ था, फिर वो कुछ और होगा, फिर वो आगे भी कुछ और होगा. That thing that it is about, which can show us what evolution could have truly been like, that thing is not going to come by shifting from one scientific topic to another. It's just not there, you know. All that is just logs of matter. And the whole thing that is the birther of it all, which is creating that possibility of that which we call a mind, the very mind which is observing this, doing research, thinking, seeing, hearing. But imagine what the bats must be hearing, something else only. But what we are perceiving is because of our possibility as a human. So we are perceiving out of that limitation. So what we are perceiving is itself out of limitation. Unless we go to the clean stuff that I'm talking about, then we have no limitation of perceiving. Then we are just perceiving everything as it is. That's when we can see. And it is so subtle that only such pure mind can see. Others can keep hearing it, they'll still not be able to see anything. The only way this mind can be cleaned is through the surrender to action and not the mind. One has to win over the mental waves that we are creating by ourselves, that has to come in life. And then we see that, oh, something is happening. We are not even thinking. It's just happening. We are seeing. That's what thinking is seeing means. it feels effortless after that. Let's say, have you ever seen me use ChatGPT? I just don't understand why do I need to use it at all for writing something. I can clearly see what is to be written. Why do I need ChatGPT to show me what is to be written? So I don't need inputs from there. It's like I can already see it completely. I don't need inputs. I need it done. But ChatGPT is not what would do and approve and final as a human person who has to use that thing that it is giving. So then the human himself will figure it out and give me the answer. My team will get it. I don't need to go to ChatGPT at all. See? This is lighter.